Maybe you think you've rocked an assignment at work or school, only to have your teacher or supervisor rip it to pieces, or tell you to start over again. False summits can come in the gym, when you're doing a hard circuit workout and think you've hit the last set, only to hear from your coach or trainer, or from a quick glance at your own notes, that you have to go back through an entire circuit one last time. We all take a punch like that every once in a while, but those who tend to crane their necks looking for the crest of the mountain as they beg for their suffering to end are the ones who get smashed the most. We have to learn to stop looking for a sign the hard time will end when the distance is unknown. It's even more critical that you stay locked in so that unknown factor doesn't steal your focus. The end will come when it comes, and anticipating it will only distract you from completing the task in front of you to the best of your ability. Remember the struggle is the whole journey. That's why you're out there. It's why you signed up for this race, or that class, or took a damn job. There is a great beauty when you're involved in something that is so hard most people want it to end. When Hell Week ended, most of the guys who survived cheered, wept, tears of joy, high-fived or hugged one another. I got the Hell Week blues because I'd been immersed in the beauty of grinding through the personal growth that came with it. We can make an obstacle as big or as small as we like it. It's all in the way we frame it. Going into Leadville, I expected one long, hard motherfucking day. But how many inconsequential days had I lived by then? Why not spend one single day doing something I'll be proud of for the rest of my life? Like Elmo said at London Swain in his apartment before wrestling match of his life in the movie Vision Quest, it ain't the 6 minutes, it's what happens in that 6 minutes. When we're climbing a mountain or involved in any other difficult task, the only way to free yourself from the struggle is to finish it. So why bitch about it when it gets hard? Why hope it will end soon when you know it will end eventually? When you complain and your mind starts groping for the eject button, you are not bringing your best self to the task, which means you are actually prolonging pain. I was just off Leadville PR pace of 22 hours and 15 minutes, which put me on top 40 in the entire field. Not that I knew it at the time. I didn't wear a fitness watch. I wore a $10 special from Walmart that I bought the day before because I didn't want knowledge of the pace clouding my mindset. I was focused on one thing, the task at hand. After a short rest to eat and hydrate, it was time to retrace my steps and climb up Hope Pass from the backside. This time with my pacer, my old friend TJ. My old friend TJ had stuffed his pack with extra food, water, gear he thought I might need, and his legs were fresh. His presence pushed me up the ascent at a strong pace, and although it had been some time since I'd run trails consistently, I had become a good technical trail runner over the years. That muscle memory clicked back in, which enabled me to attack the descent, fly down the other side. The final major climb of the race loomed at mile 75. It's called Powerline, and that one has a false summit too. TJ had a pair of trekking poles with him, and he kept offering them to me. He had been annoyed watching people with poles pass us in the backside of Hope Pass while I was still hiking on hands and knees. We caught most of them on the way down on the flats, only to give up again on the power line. "Come on, man, just try the poles for a mile or two," he said. "See if you like them." "Fuck that," I snapped, as two more people passed us up. In the old days, that was cheating. I was cooked by then. For the first time all day, the accumulated miles and my pace were starting to wear on me. He could see it. "I'm telling you, Goggins." I looked over at TJ as he held them out like he knew I was pressing a weapon of last resort to the grumpy samurai, still clinging to the old ways. I snatched them. Irritated that I was abandoning the hard-ass old ultra ethic. Then again, the sport had evolved, and that was the opportunity for me to evolve with it. As he pressed those poles, as he promised, those poles took so much pressure off my legs, they suddenly felt fresh. And it changed it charged up and I charged up that steep ass mountain. I was moving better and faster than I had several hours, and past seasoned ultra runners like it was my like I and apologies. I was moving better and faster than I had in several hours. I passed seasoned ultra runners like so many. My confidence was swelled and my sense was heightened. I moved up the field and felt so powerful in the flow that something shook loose in my memory, tumbled in front of my mind. That's what makes events like Leadville so deep and poetic. 100-mile grind at altitude while wringing everything out of you. And as I flew up Powerline, I saw the scared kid who used to look for exits because he was blind to his own possibilities. Apologies for stuttering. But this is my first attempt to do a book dive for a podcast. I enjoy these types of book dives with Jocko Willink and things like that. And I always come away from them learning so much more and experiencing so much more from books that I may never have heard of or read in my life or been able to hear about ever in my life. So I've always valued those types of podcasts. So apologies that I'm a bit rough around the edges when reading the books to you. I'm doing my best. I promise you that. I'm trying hard. But just know that, it's not you, it's me. But damn, the race has changed. The sport has changed since last time Goggins had competed. And he's pressing hard. He's pressing real hard to maintain his pace that he wants to keep on so that he can make it within 25 hours or 24 hours like he said he wanted to do. So far so good, but it's starting to wear on him. He's got so many injuries and, problems with his knees, his ankles, his feet, his heart, his lungs, everything. Plus, on top of all of that, the altitude is starting to really get to him, I think. It's starting to really mess with him. And I think that's something that we're going to see start to pop up. So, Goggins is now reflecting a little bit on his life as he runs these ultra marathons, and he has said that running these ultras allows him to be introspective of his life, of himself, and the circumstances of his upbringing, the circumstances of who he is, what he's done in his life, and he often finds himself reflecting on a lot of that. And I think that's where he gets a lot of his powerful thoughts and a lot of his powerful wisdom from, his hard-earned wisdom that he gets from running these terribly hard races.